Folks, welcome to another FiddleHed fiddle lesson. Now I'm going to do a short follow-up lesson on the tune Greensleeves. If you don't already know the tune, I have a video lesson for that, and I'll put a link to that in the comments field below. Okay? And so I'm just going to basically play the tune with some variations and then talk about what I did different from the basic. And not going to too in-depth, more just sort of like generally take it as like a video of suggestions for you, okay? So here we go. Alright, so sorry if the fingerings went out of view a little bit, but I'll try to make it more clear for showing you more precisely what happened. So I guess the main things I'm doing, just to sum up, are some double stops and some like 16th note triplets, some turns, and some slides. And so maybe I'll talk about the double stops that you can do throughout the tune. So the first chord of the basic version is, so for double stops you can add a D1 to that first. We're kind of outlining an A minor chord. So we have, and then I kind of let go of the double stop once I get to the third, but you don't have to. And then on the next bar, I think a double stop with, if you can do it, 3 across D and A. So we have that forms a G chord. It sounds kind of cool to slide into it. Like anything you ever practice, you can practice through looping. Become a broken record player and love it, okay? Oh, I want to remember that and say that again someday. All right, so, and what else can you do? Same thing for the third bar. And then for the fourth bar, the basic was, we can do first finger across both D and A. That forms an E chord. E major in this case. By the way, I'll put a link to a video all about, I have a whole series of videos on how to play chords on the fiddle. I'll link to that below too, okay? In the comments field. And with those chords, you can slide into them to make them sound cool. Loop it. Just loop things. That's all you have to do to learn music. Just loop this. So I think that's roughly it. Oh, and then on the B part, the double stop I use in the beginning, here's the basic. And then I just will, instead of having, I have a low 2 on E and on A. That forms a C chord. Done this one. I think that sounds pretty sweet. Okay, now moving on to other things. I'd like to slide on the second bar. Here's it without the slide. You can even make it slower. And again, just practice that on a loop. If you really want to get it, this is the way to do it. All right. And of course, all these things are just suggestions. Maybe you want to try doing slides somewhere else. Great. That's what I hope you do. Okay. So what else are we gonna do? There's a lot of like triplets and turns and things you can do. Let's look at that idea. So that's a hard one because you got to use fourth, but the basic was. So I'm doing. It's not really a grace note, it's because it's more in time. There's another one there. Here's the basic, and adding the 16th note triplet. We want to do a cool one on this fourth quarter. You can do something kind of weird, but I like a 16th note triplet using the raised third on A. Why not do a different interval then? You can also do low too, but I kind of like. All right. This last one. So the basic version, I like to do. All right, let's move on to the B part, first phrase. That's the basic. I like to do a turn, I think sounds good there. So again, if you don't know turns, I have a video for that too. I gotta remember to put links to all these fun videos for you. But it's basically, you go turn, you take the bass note, you go up one, back to the bass note, down one, back up. That's a turn in slow motion, but it happens fast. Think of a bird. You become a bird when you do a turn. All right? So then you can add the other, and so on, as you see fit. And then we can start to mix and match all our ideas. Adding the slide, the double stop, and the turn. And so on. I think that's all the ideas I roughly did. Again, if you're unsure, just go back and rewind, pause, rewind, and review. Thanks for putting up with all the cartoon drawings and all the talk. I hope that was a useful lesson. I think this tune is great. You're gonna have a lot of fun messing around with it. And just a last parting note on variation that I feel almost obligated by law to say, universal music law, is that if your variations muddy the melody too much, then maybe you need to simplify it. And so just always keep that in mind. Have fun experimenting, come up with ideas, play around with it, but then go back after you've done all that and play a very simple version of the tune again. And then ask yourself, do I like the variation? Or maybe you could do something like, oh, I'll play a simple version of the tune, I'll do this variation, then I'll return to the simple. Then it's like the listener can get, you are also the listener if you're playing. Then you can get like a little bit of a journey, a little bit of something different, and then come back to a more simple version. So just keep that in mind. The melody is king, all right? Melody is king. On that note, thank you, and we'll see you next time on the FiddleHed Fiddle channel.
Thanks for watching the video.
Excellent!